Do you have pain when you go to try to take off from a jump and you just have excruciating sharp pain right on the patellar tendon, commonly referred to as patellar tendinitis, or if you're younger, osgood-schlatters disease? It's located right below the kneecap, central. Then in today's video, we're going to go over a couple exercises that you should be doing to help you recover from that and get back to playing ball, sports, whatever it is that you're doing, jumping off of one leg comfortable again. And here's the cool part, it really doesn't usually take too many exercises to recover from this sort of issue. It's just proper programming, proper progressions, done in a systematic way. So be sure to stay till the end because we're going to go over all those progressions from A to Z, simplest to getting you all the way back into jumping again. If you're not already familiar with this channel, I'm Greg with sportsrehabexpert.com. If you check out our website, we have courses for rehab clinicians, strength coaches, and athletic trainers. Or if you're someone who's dealing with an injury and want to live more active lifestyle, play sports without pain and injury, and feeling injury prone, then check out our workouts and rehab programs that we also have located at sportsrehabexpert.com. So first up, we're going to start with a loaded wall sit. Most people, when they do wall sits, don't load the exercise up heavy enough to actually make changes. If you need to, from a pain standpoint, to start body weight, sure, go ahead and start body weight. But as soon as you're able to start putting load into the equation, you want to do so immediately. And you should feel like you're about reaching failure at 30 seconds to upwards of 45 seconds. You can hold this longer than 45 seconds, you're not going heavy enough. If you can't hold it for 20 seconds, you're going too heavy. Now we don't just want to do a deep wall sit, we also want to do a mid-range wall sit where your knee is about bent at a 45-degree angle and the shin is still vertical here. Back is up against the wall, leaning backwards. This angle is more specific to the position that your leg gets into when you jump. And so we also want to load this exercise up as heavy as we can too. So there's two ranges of the wall sit that you should be working on. One is the mid-range, load it up as heavy as you can. One is the deeper range of the wall sit, load it up as heavy as you can. Again, both of these, at minimum, we want a 30-second hold, at max, a 40-second hold, and you should feel like you're shaking to be able to reach that time span. If you can't reach 20 seconds, it's too heavy. If you could go for a minute, you're going too light. Obviously, we do need to be mindful of pain. You need to do what is reasonable for your pain levels. We do not want to be pushing to anything that is escalating in pain. It should be level. Ideally, those symptoms when you're doing an exercise is no greater than a 3 out of 10. Now, one little bonus variation you can do is a single leg Spanish squat isometric hold, where you're just holding in this position, same as the wall sit, where you're trying to keep your trunk upright, or think like your back is still leaning against the wall, your knee is bent to a 45-degree angle. This variation works the same muscle groups as the wall sit, but it adds a little bit of a balance component to the equation. So it's a nice added challenge, but it's not absolutely necessary. Not everybody has access to a band. So again, a wall sit will work just as well, but just a nice way to add some variance into the exercise, work a little balance at the same time. So you can also give that one a shot. Now, a couple key points. If pain is limiting you from loading the exercise up heavy enough, then you should be doing this on a frequent basis, just about 5 to 7 times a week. So if you're doing it body weight, you need a high frequency to get any sort of benefit out of it. You're going to do 3 sets of each position, so that's 6 total, 35 seconds, upwards of 45 seconds. And again, body weight, if pain is limiting you, you can only do body weight. As long as that pain is not escalating, we want to do 5 to 7 times a week. Now, if you can load it up where you're comfortable loading and the weight of the exercise is what causes failure, not pain or discomfort, then we can do this just 3 times a week while you're dealing with the issue. And again, same set concept, so 3 sets in both positions, but we don't have to do it as often because you're loading it up more aggressively. And then long term, when you're not dealing with pain, as long as you're loading it up till that failure point, you really only need to do each of those once a week. And that's enough to just kind of maintain what you have and not have to worry about the pain coming back again. Now finally, once your pain reaches a reasonable level of discomfort, we want to start adding a jumping exercise back into the equation. So this is my favorite way to just start introducing some loading into the jumping pattern, is by loading through that deep range where you're sinking your hips down and going as fast and aggressive into that jump as you currently feel comfortable. You could start simply by stepping back and forth. So you can start this progression pretty early on for most people, but once you're comfortable, we want to get more and more aggressive with the activity. Now I also like landings off of box, but the trick is you have to control that landing. If your knee is wobbling all over the place, then start on 2 legs. If that height's uncomfortable, start with less height, 2 legs, and work to 1 leg. But the more we can tolerate impact, the more we're going to be able to get back into jumping. That would be the final stage, is actually getting back into jumping off of 1 leg, or just doing single leg skips where you're adding some speed. All right, so there you have it, a full progression of how you can get back from a patellar tendon injury, as well as if you have Osgood-schlatters diagnosis. Really, the two are one and the same. You go about treating it the same. So follow that progression. Let me know if you have any questions. If you need more specific guidance on how to overcome this issue, email me, Greg at sportsrehabexpert.com, or check out our workouts at Sports Rehab Expert.